Life is funny. Just when you think you've mastered it, then bam, it spits in your eye, gives you a noogie, and pulls the rug right out from underneath you, leaving you with no familiar ground to stand on, losing your hair, and half blind. With no sense of control, which you never really had to begin with, your world closes in on you, and you suck wind trying to find a way to clean air and even clearer views. Somewhere over the rainbow, perhaps? Hello, my name is Jewel, and this is my channel, Yellow Brick Road Rash, where I aim to introduce you to the people, places, and things that have helped me get unstuck. I want to offer you a discussion about a wide range of topics meant to challenge your view of reality, while at the same time helping you get home. There's no place like home, but make no mistake, it won't be the same home you knew. It will now be all glittery and magical and deep and shit. Well, that's my hope anyway. I don't know how many of you know what the hero's journey is. I've heard it referred to many times, mostly in circles experimenting with psychedelics, as being the same thing as ego death. But to be honest, I don't even know what that is, or I didn't. It's important to talk about it right up front, though, because I believe The Wizard of Oz is a classic myth about the hero's journey. In the words of Joseph Campbell, mythologies are relatable for a reason. They tell an archetypal story central to all of us. Dorothy as a hero is no exception. Basically, the hero's journey is a metaphorical term describing the theme we have all heard over and over again in myths since we were children. And it goes something like this. It begins with feeling stuck in the ordinary world, not realizing there is actually a larger purpose. Then there's a call to uncover the true meaning and purpose of life, also known as the inward turn. And once on that path, there's no real going back, at least not the way they came. A mentor or guide often appears to escort the hero across a mythical threshold into a new world. As they navigate this new world, they encounter trials, enemies, helpers, and eventually find themselves in the thick of it, engaged in the ultimate battle where much is at stake. Eventually, they make their way back home, but they've changed. Sound familiar? So I'm going to use that famous golden path to lead us in discussions introducing you to some pretty unusual characters important in my own journey home. Believe me, the topics will be varied and some might not make much sense at first. But what you'll see in the end is the chasing of a divine mystery, incorporating everything from quantum physics to Hinduism, from extraterrestrials to holographic theory, from fitness payoffs to analytical idealism, etc. I'm not going to lie. I really have no idea what I'm doing. This is my first ever podcast. And as usual, this creative can't keep it simple. I'm at home and going big, but in doing so, maybe what I'm making here will strike a chord in you that will resonate so hard, you're left with no choice but to come along. I promise you my approach will be like nothing you've come across before, and maybe that in and of itself makes it worth your time. But honestly, I have another motive for creating this channel. I want to prove I can do it, and therefore maybe help you prove you can too. Let's face it, I'm coming out of my prime, seeking my life purpose, otherwise known in these circles as fitness payoffs. I'm pretty much answering a call. I heard a YouTuber whom I follow say she wished there were more elders in the discussion. Well, here I am, stepping up. I hope what I have to offer contributes to the consciousness community in a way that provides some thought-provoking, creative flair that helps you find home in whatever way home speaks to you. If you have found this introduction interesting enough to want to check out the next episode, then please click the like button above and consider subscribing to the channel for easier access every time you come back to YouTube. I will eventually also be uploading the series to the listening apps so you can find me while on the go. Pretty cool. In wrapping things up, I would like to encourage you to check out the links in the show notes. There will be links to definitions that will be useful moving forward. So consider copying and pasting them into your notepad for future reference. And speaking of notepads, throughout the course of the podcast, you may want to keep one handy because we will be covering a lot. I'm speaking to you, Generation Jones. Thank you for watching. I hope you will join me on this quirky adventure where I want to offer you a new language, one that will help you reinterpret meaning in your own life and help you find Oz.